Hey guys, I am back for another one of Dee Dee Farrago's 3 and 15 Don't Freak Out Before Christmas pockets. And I'm having so much fun with this challenge. And I'm learning how to make things my own and yeah, just adjust them the way I want them and follow Dee Dee's instructions, and it's just been great. So, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this pocket. Then I'm gonna tell y'all a sweet story. So what we're making is a pocket that has a pocket here. It'll be glued down on the page on 3 sides, and it has a pocket here, a pocket here, a pocket here, and a pocket here. So we get 4 pockets. That's a lot of bang for the buck. Dee Dee makes hers 4 inches wide, and she is using 8.5 by 11. I think it's 8.5 by 11 cardstock this year. I want some made out of my scrapbook paper that I'm using. So I have single-sided scrapbook paper, and I'm going to show y'all what I did. It's best, okay, I'm going to show you this first. It's best if you have non-directional paper, because you don't have to worry about which direction your folds go up, and if things are going to be right side up here for your little pockets. And you can see I did one that has directional paper, and my folds come up correctly. They're right side up down here for the bottom 2 pockets, but they're sideways on the top because of the way that we fold it. But I think that's okay. It just gives me a little opportunity for a butterfly or something. I just always like those little opportunities. And this one is one that I did, and I'm going to show you what happened with this one also. I did this one. It is slightly directional paper. It's really directional, but it's got the flowers and the stems and things on it, so it really doesn't glare out that it's directional paper. But what I did with this one is I was fooling around with it and didn't glue my flaps down before I started, before I punched my thumb notches and started folding up and all that good stuff. So what I ended up doing was, when I took them back apart to make my glue my folds down and things, I put them back together, and I didn't pay attention. I paid attention that I had them here, but I didn't pay attention that I had the top one on the bottom and the bottom one on the top. So it kind of got off kilter. But that's not going to bother me. I'm okay with that, as long as my pocket is still the width that needs to fit the page, and the width of your cut is what determines that. This is determined by how far down you tuck that pocket in. If I had noticed it and pulled that pocket up a little bit, pulled that side up a little bit, then this would have come up. This would have been a little bit deeper. So, but it doesn't bother me, so I will use it anyway. So that's where we are. So what I have is I have one-sided paper, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut it, and I've got it right side up. And I like my pockets to be 4 3/4 inches wide. Dee Dee is doing hers 4 inches wide, which sometimes I do want them 4 inches, but for this particular purpose, I'm gonna cut mine at 4 3/4. And like I said, this cut determines how wide your pocket is. Now, because I'm using scrapbook paper, I went ahead and left my length alone. I can adjust that length when I'm folding up my pocket if I want to. But what I find, if I leave my 12-inch paper I find that I get an 8-inch pocket. So sometimes I do want a big pocket. If I wanted a shorter pocket, I would cut this off a little bit. So I'm going to start with my paper as right side up as it gets. So my 35-cent stamps here are showing me that's right side up. So I'm going to flip them over, and then I'm going to fold them from the bottom. Fold this one over. And this fold is pretty important. You want to get it right to that corner, because that's what makes your points here and keeps everything in line down there. Okay, again, I'm folding up from the bottom on the back side. Okay, so far, here's what we have. Now, if I was to fold these up like this, then my paper would be, my blank paper would be on the front. Well, I don't want that, but what I'm going to do first so I don't get messed up is I am going to go ahead and glue down my little corners here, my angles. I hope y'all are all having a good day today. Hope you can find some time to craft. I hope you're enjoying my videos. If you are, please consider subscribing and liking this video. I hear it'll help me out a lot. I like making these videos. At first I didn't. I was scared to death, and my voice is always shaky. So yeah, I don't know why. I've just got, I guess, a weak voice, and y'all don't want to hear me sing, I can guarantee you that. My grandma used to say that I couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. If somebody gave me a tune to put in a bucket, I couldn't carry it. So, okay, and here's what we've got. Now, if we look at this, our top is upside down. Our paper is upside down. So we want to flip it over, line it up, cut our punch, thumb holes, thumb notches. I usually flip those in my face. Okay, and now what we're going to do, keeping those straight and holding them down. This is important. Hold them down from this point on. Fold your pockets up. And now my paper on my pocket is right side up. And then I'm going to fold the second one up just however far I want it, making sure that I stay within my 8.5 inches. So now I've got my pocket and I'm holding on to it good. And it's going to be right at 8 inches. I could have folded them up a little farther. I could have cut them off and folded them up a little farther. But this doesn't bother me because I sometimes like to have a big deep pocket for my journals. Now, I've got all this held in place. I've got my point in the center and my points at the top in pretty good evenness there. Now I'm just gonna glue, and I should have inked this before I did this, but guess what? I didn't. And I believe I've got 3 places here to glue. Get everybody lined up. Okay, the first one is to glue these 2 pages together. So start at your point and glue that. Okay, the next one is to glue this pocket to the base, which is the same piece of paper, but It's just in the back. And then the last one is to glue this pocket. And then since I tried to glue so close to the edge, I'm going to have some glue seeping out of there. And if these edges get offline and it's more than what you think a little ink is going to cover up and it's not making you happy, just take your paper cutter and chop right up that edge. It'll make your pocket a little less wide, but that is neither here nor there at this point. Okay, and what we want to do is glue on the other side now, and we want to get between those two pages, those two pocket edges, and glue those two papers together. Now we want to glue the pockets and the very front pocket, and you're going to come all the way down on that one. Okay, and there we go. So I've got about an 8-inch pocket, and it's got a pocket on the front, a second pocket on the front, a pocket in the back, and then when it's glued to the page, it'll have another pocket in the back. So that's a really useful pocket. And then when you glue it down, you'll glue your points down, of course, and that'll hold them in place and they won't be bending up and all that. So yeah, ink around it, and there we go. And Dee Dee was real good about inking hers first. Yeah, I'm not so much good at that. I get too excited and I just want to go. So let's do another one. I'm gonna go 4 3/4, and I'm making sure that my paper is upright, because this is a little bit directional. It's not very directional, but it is a little bit directional. And another one at 4 3/4. And I'm trying to be really consistent with where I line that up. Okay, and then we've got a little piece of scrap. Fold that over and make a tag or something. Okay, so here we are. And this one is a little bit directional because it has writing on the back, but it has flowers going all different directions. There's some upside down and left to right, and so it's not going to bother me about that writing being sideways. So I'm going to start with my paper right side up, and I'm going to flip them over, and I'm going to fold up from the bottom. And I'm going to make my triangles, being sure to catch all the way to that corner. And if you keep this side in line, then usually it'll do it pretty well for you. Okay, here we go again. And I always pay attention up here because that's the easiest place to see the edge there. And there we go. Okay, so now we've got this, but we're going to flip it over, make sure they're even, and see, those really don't look bad with them going sideways. Okay, so now what we're going to do is glue down our corners. Oh, I was going to tell y'all a sweet story. If y'all have been listening to my videos, you know that my parents are both in their 90s and they live here with us now. And I went in there to check. I leave my dog in there with them most days. if they're having good days. I just leave her in there with them, and she enjoys it. I'll go in there and she'll be all propped up in my mama's arms, or laying on her lap, or in my dad's lap getting treats. But anyway, they love her, and I'm glad they do. But I went in there to check on them a little while ago to make sure my little dog didn't need to go to the facilities. So my mom was moving. She was moving into my dad's room. I'm like, okay. So I went ahead and took the dog in there. She had been in my mom's room. Went ahead and took the dog in there. And here comes my mama. I thought maybe she was going toward the bathroom or something. Here comes my mama, my sweet little mama. She's got her one of those packs of Famous Amos cookies. I hope I'm allowed to say that. But yeah, she's got her one of those packs of Famous Amos cookies. And she's going in there to share them with my daddy. That was her reason for going, was to share those cookies with my daddy. And wasn't that sweet? My daddy didn't know that's why she was coming in there. He was thinking she wanted something opened, or, you know, something. But nope, she was coming to share her cookies. So she got right in there, and she went, sat down, and shared her cookies. I thought that was sweet. So here's where we decide the length of our pockets. And I folded that one up a little farther. So this one's going to be shorter. Depending on how far I fold this one up. So I folded both of them up a little bit farther. I want to keep them straight. So now this one is just over 7.5 inches. So that's going to be another nice, generous pocket that we can stuff full. And now on the front, my flowers are right side up and my handwriting is right side up. This one's upside down, but this one's right side up. It's just the way the paper lays. So if that kind of thing bothers you, you want to really be sure to use a non-directional paper. So now, I hope you can see that I am holding on to this so that my pages don't slide here. But what I could do now is come through here, still holding on tight, and ink before I glue my pockets together. Yeah, so what about my little mama? They'll fuss and carry on, fight over when the ball game is and what channel it's on. Oh my goodness. But then they're so sweet to each other. Yeah, I got pretty good parents. I am so very lucky. Okay, so there we are. Now we just need to hold it down tight and glue. First thing I want to do is get between those two back pockets. And that's generally from the corner of the folded down paper to the bottom. Okay. Then come in here and get the next one. Hope my head's not in your way. Okay. Oops, my paper just shifted. If I'd wait till I'm supposed to and get my little rag like I'm supposed to. Y'all, I have found that the best thing for glue seepage, to pick up glue seepage, is a used dryer sheet. It picks up all kinds of glue, and I don't know why it picks it up so much better, but it picks it up better than anything that I've used. So I keep my used dryer sheets and use them for sopping up glue. And here again, I want to go between the two back pockets. to there. Then the next one is my tall pocket, my tall front pocket. Get it right there, and then my shorter front pocket. Okay, and then mop up that glue. Okay, now this one, you can see a little white along there. That's not going to matter because it's going to be on the back of your pocket. That's going to be glued down. So what we do now is just ink around the edges. And I'm using my Vintage Photo. I use Vintage Photo on pretty much everything. If I'm doing a special album that's been requested a special color, then I use whatever colors. Like I used pink on the baby girl album. But there we go. It's all inked, and I remembered to do it this time. But if I don't remember to ink, y'all know I used the trick. And you can tell I've done it a lot. Of course, on the baby girl album, I didn't decide to ink until after. I knew I was waiting to decide. And then my sister-in-law came over and looked at the album, and I showed her what it would look like inked, and she said, yep, let's ink it. So I inked it. But yeah, this is really easy to do. You just slide in there with a piece of paper and get under your edges. And there we go. Now we just need to go around. And I don't know if y'all can even see it, but there's the tiniest little edge right here, and instead of cutting it off, I'm just inking it. If it ever gets to where it bothers me, before I glue it down, I can cut it off and re-ink, no problem. Okay, there we go. I have really enjoyed making this difficult looking but not so hard to do pocket. I thank you, Dee Dee, for breaking it down for us. And I know that I did mine a little bit different than you did. If you have any other tips and tricks, I'm sure open to them. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this pocket. I think I'll get a lot of use out of this one. So thank you all for watching. I hope everybody's having a great day, and I hope everybody can find a little time to craft. Thanks for watching.